You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington, USA.
Thank you so much for joining me for another incredible session here of the Daily African Proverbs. It's been a few weeks since we were live here, and I am just so excited for another amazing session of the Daily African Proverbs. I took time to focus on the production of Madaraka Festival that was held on August 13th and 14th. Now that Madaraka Festival is behind us, I want to really, congratulate all our subscribers here on the YouTube channel. I want to thank you for, getting us to 3,000 subscribers. And today, I want to, start our Daily African Proverbs routine by bringing us an amazing proverb from Eritrea. And the proverb says that, I want to add this down here so that you can all check it out as you are, watching this live. I want to know where you are watching the live from, actually. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, just type in the comment where you are joining me from. The proverb says that if you hear a madman talking, wait, you will soon hear what makes people think he is mad. I'll repeat that one more time, and it's right below the screen if you're watching. It says that if you hear a madman talking, wait, you will soon hear what makes people think he is mad. An amazing proverb from Eritrea. And, in this episode, we are going to talk a little bit about this interesting phenomena that happens when people hear a madman talking. Growing up in Kenya, we used to see actually a lot of madmen who were half clothed, some that were fully clothed, but they were going through mental health situations. And a lot of the time when you hear them talking, you literally saw people around you moving around and saying something that, what do you think this madman is saying? So there are three takeaways. There are three things that we are going to learn from this proverb today that I hope will empower you, that will inspire you, so that as you go into your day, you feel inspired, but most importantly, you feel grounded in your roots as an African person watching this conversation. And many times you are, when you pay attention to conversations that people who think that they are more sane than the madman, when you see them talking about the madman, they think that he is not making sense completely, and a lot of the time when you hear a madman talking, a lot of the time people pretend that they actually understand the madman, but shortly after they go and talk to their friends about that madman, and so the idea is, if you give someone time to finish what they're saying, they will often reveal the source of their madness. Many times people who are perceived to be out of their mind are not given a chance to even fully express themselves. So I just want to begin by sharing a couple of things. Number one, I want to invite you to follow me across social media. I am on Instagram at Okello Javan. I am on Twitter at Okello Javan. I am also on Facebook at Okello Javan, as well as TikTok. But it's easy to find me as the African Father in America. That's the name of this podcast, And today's show is the Daily African Proverbs, which is a show that has been happening since January 2021. And whenever we've held the Daily African Proverbs, it's been magical. We've held the Daily African Proverbs on Clubhouse for almost 2 years. So this is the first time that we are bringing this show to AMP, which is on Amazon. It's an Amazon app that is like a live radio app, very much like Clubhouse, but it's still in beta testing, and I'm just privileged that we get to be some of the first people to try this app out. But you can hear me live and direct on YouTube as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, I just want to make sure you type where you're joining me from in the chat, and also you type whether you hear me clearly in the chats. I just want to make sure that whoever is live here with me, we are on the same page. Now, whenever we come here for the Daily African Proverbs, for me, I take these conversations as, a moment for me to reflect on who I am, a moment for me to reflect on our ancestors, a moment for me to take African Proverbs further than the street value that we all normally give African Proverbs. So we come with takeaways that we can learn and gain a bit of wisdom, deeper wisdom from these proverbs. And so the first takeaway that I have here for you, again, the proverb we are discussing says that if you hear a madman talking, wait, you will soon hear what makes people think he is mad. This proverb is also my latest Instagram post, so you can engage with it on Instagram. But the first takeaway is that many people hear a madman talking and think that he is insane. And what these people don't understand is that the madman is actually trying to tell them something, And as a father, as a father of 3 girls, my youngest is about 3.5 now. Many times, when you hear your children speaking as parents, we completely ignore them, We completely ignore them because we don't fully understand what they're saying. Similar to when we are out in the street and we encounter someone that we think is crazy, or we think is mad. We do not pay full attention to what they're trying to say because we think we know it all, And so we lose an opportunity by not paying attention to even what someone we believe might not be coherent is saying. So what we are being advised here is that no matter who is speaking, we should pay full attention so that we have a better understanding of what they could be trying to communicate to us. Number two, out of the 3 takeaways that we have today is that if you listen carefully, you will be able to hear what the madman is saying. Many times we just listen in order for us to respond. We don't listen with all our heart, And what we are learning here through this proverb from Eritrea is that in any given moment, there's an opportunity for you to listen. And when you think you've listened enough, you should listen again, because what you see and what you hear is probably just from the surface and really not the depth of what you're being told, because a lot of the time when you're listening to others speak, you judge and you look at how they look like. You look at, what their face looks like. You look at what their clothes look like. You look at so many things that distract you from what is being communicated to you. And so we lose a lot of opportunities in life because, we are just looking at the surface. We are not looking at the depth of what we are being communicated, what is being communicated to us. So this is really, really important. And then finally, once you figure out what he is trying to say, you will be surprised at how obvious it was all along. I was watching a video on Instagram. I think it's Chakabaz who posted that video. And then I began seeing it all over Instagram. And it was a video in the New York subway where there was a madman, literally someone who was bare-chested, and he was wearing a trouser that was torn. It had holes in it, and he walked into the train, and once he walked into the train, before the door even closed, he began, extending his hand, begging for food. He began extending his hand, begging for people to be able to help him out. But nobody really helped him out. But right in front of him, there was a woman who was eating a very delicious meal. And so when nobody responded to this madman's, expressions, and hand signals and whatever he was mumbling, he literally went into that woman's plate and took, but it was a little violent. It took a big portion of what she was eating and ran out of the subway with it. Then everybody who was around her began chasing him, and they would have literally helped him by just giving him a portion of the meal that she was having, or even just paying attention to what he had to say. So this is what we are learning from today's episode of the Daily African Proverbs. We are learning that whenever you see anybody who is disadvantaged, whenever you see anybody who is who does not have the ability to fully express themselves, they are probably communicating something to you that you need to pay attention to. You need to be the one who is responsible enough to pay deeper attention to what they might be saying in order for you to be helpful, or in order for you to even stay safe, but because you're not paying attention, you're likely to be in a situation similar to the woman that I'm describing in the subway that was just eating, but there was a madman standing in front of her begging for a piece of that meal, and she completely continued eating and forgot about this person that was right across from her until he dipped his dirty hands. Imagine you're having your most delicious meal and there's a man standing across from you, and you didn't pay attention, you didn't bother to share what you're eating with them at all until they jumped and grabbed the meal from you. So, I just want to thank you all who have joined me on AMP. I see that a few people have joined me here and there, and I want to thank you so much. I'm actually live on YouTube as well. So for those who have, who have been able to join me on YouTube, I thank you so much. For those who have joined me on AMP, thank you so much. This is a test. I am testing how it feels like to broadcast the Daily African Proverbs on AMP instead of Clubhouse. And so after evaluating for a few days, maybe throughout this week, we are going to try and see the result of what it feels like to broadcast this amazing show on a different platform. Typically, the way that the Daily African Proverbs is produced is that I share the proverb, I share the nuggets of wisdom that come from this proverb, which are the takeaways that I was just breaking down for you. And then after that, we hear from the audience. Part of the show is for us to hear voices from the audience. So today you might not hear voices from audience members because I haven't built my audience on AMP yet. But if we were on Clubhouse, you'd easily hear a couple of people also sharing their perspectives on what this proverb means to them. And so instead, I'm going to ask you, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to ask you to go down in the comments and let me know what this proverb means to you. Again, the proverb is from Eritrea, and it says, if you hear a madman talking, wait. You will soon hear what makes people think he is mad. I want to invite anyone who is listening to me on AMP, I would love for you to join me so that you can also participate in this conversation. I want to hear your voices. Just tap the the button that allows you to be able to join me here on the speaker panel. In the meantime, those who are joining me on YouTube, I deeply appreciate you, and I want to know where exactly you are joining me from today. It's been a couple of weeks since I was live here, and I'm really excited to bring the show back, especially on a Labor Day weekend. I decided to go live today on a holiday here in the US so that I could actually test and feel how it really feels to be back. And before we get into the rigor and start studying what the response from our audience is like, I wanted to just test this with a smaller and intimate audience. Remember, the Daily African Proverbs, which is this show that you're listening to right now, is something that started right in the middle of the pandemic in late 2020, and in January of 2021 we began hosting this show live on Clubhouse, and later on we began broadcasting it on YouTube. So as we speak, I am sure there are a few people who are watching on YouTube. I just want you to share with me in the comment, where you are joining us from, the name of your city. And also, I want you to take a minute, because the purpose of this show is for us to learn, ground ourselves in African wisdom, and be proud and make our ancestors proud of our culture through these proverbs. With one proverb a day, the hope is that we can gain more wisdom every single day. So today, we are literally taking a virtual journey to Eritrea, and the proverb that we are discussing today is beautiful. It says, if you hear a madman talking, wait. You will soon hear what makes people think he is mad. Hey, Kesiwa, I love that you're here. It means a lot. I am trying to transition from broadcasting on Clubhouse so that I broadcast on YouTube, where we are right now, and also on AMP. There's a really nice app that Amazon has launched. It's called AMP. And because Amazon is based in Seattle, and because Amazon just recently sponsored Madaraka Festival, I wanted to test this app and make sure we can position ourselves so that we can invest our time on a platform that gives us the value for our money. And also, AMP has really good features. For example, you can play music from Amazon Music, unlimited music from Amazon Music, if you're using AMP, So we are also building relationships with Amazon Music, and it's just wonderful for us to be able to try and test some of the apps that they're creating in order for us to to make good use of them. So if this does not work out, we will definitely, before we come back to Clubhouse, we will be testing other apps. For example, I'm really interested in testing the Daily African Proverbs on TikTok as well. So right after this broadcast, I will actually go to TikTok to just share a recap of how today's conversation was. So if you're not following me on TikTok, my handle on TikTok is at Okelo Javan. That's the @ and then OKELOJAVAN. That's my handle. And then importantly is that we are building our subscriber base. We are building our subscriber base. We are working on some incredible content for this amazing community that we've been building. We are also working on some educational resources, like we're working on a book that will enable podcasters, especially podcasters of African descent, to learn how we've been building this podcast from, just one episode to over 250 episodes now, from one download to over 100,000 downloads. So we want to share all this knowledge. How have we been doing it? And also, how have we managed to stay so consistent, And then finally, how can you also do it? How can you also do it? What are the equipments that you can use to start your own podcast? And how can you build your own community so that it can grow to a point where you can also produce Madaraka Festival? And for those who don't know, just this weekend, I was on CNN talking about what it takes to produce Madaraka Festival. This was on CNN International on Africa Avagant. So if you missed the program, you can catch it on CNN's website. The video is going to be uploaded there today, and check it out and let me know what you think. If you're in Seattle, you should join us this Thursday. This Thursday at 7:30 p.m. we are going to be at Northwest Film Forum, where we will be watching this CNN program that featured Madaraka Festival. It also featured one of the most amazing promoters. His name is Duke. He brings people like Wizkid and Davido and Burna Boy to the US, and he does so many shows every year, over 17 shows per year. It also featured one of the most prestigious awards in Nigeria, and so check out the feature. It was just amazing to sit with family and watch this beautiful broadcast live, live on CNN. Growing up in Manyata, I never knew that I could actually be on CNN one day. So it was just incredible. And I just want to thank everyone from Lavender. Lavender Toya is one of my colleagues at One Vibe. I want to appreciate you for your support. I want to appreciate all, the volunteers, the artists that made Madaraka Festival possible. I am just incredibly, humbled by the love and the support. And I also want to thank our audience members. Many of you who have always showed up for this show in the morning. It's really, really appreciated. So I want to urge you to let others know that we are back, and we will be bringing you more every Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is going to be our time, which is our usual time. But we will be live on YouTube as usual, but we will be taking a break from Clubhouse for a while, and we will be building an audience on AMP and then on TikTok as well. So check out the content that we're putting out on TikTok and support, engage with it, share it. Check out the content we're putting out on Instagram, engage with it, and also share it. And in the meantime, I just want to again give a shout out to Kesiwa, who has been an amazing supporter of the Daily African Proverbs, and I'm just so happy that you're here. I see that we've been joined by, another friend here on AMP. Thank you so much. I would love for you to, speak and join me here so that I can hear your voice if you have a moment. If you don't, just let me know so that we can, continue towards the end of our conversation today. I wonder what you all think about the takeaways that I shared with you today. I just want to quickly repeat them as we begin the end of our session today. And remember, I'm going to be live on TikTok just for 15 to 20 minutes to wrap up our time together, just to continue sharing with the rest of the world what the proverb for the day is, what the takeaway is, and just to continue building this amazing community that we've been building over the last 2 years. So again, I appreciate you. If you're just joining me, the proverb that we're discussing, remember, this is the Daily African Proverbs, and in the Daily African Proverbs, we bring one African proverb each day, and we take a deep dive into understanding what were our ancestors trying to tell us through this proverb, and what can we do with this knowledge in our life today. So our proverb here from Eritrea says that if you hear a madman talking, wait. You will soon hear what makes people think he is mad. Now, I talked a lot about what this proverb means, and I have 3 takeaways that I shared at the very, very beginning of our time together. I actually want you to listen to the beginning of this episode so that you can deepen your understanding of this proverb. And just let me know in the comment, if you're watching this video after the live recording, what is it that comes to your mind when you hear this proverb that says, if you hear a madman talking, wait, you will soon hear what makes people think he is mad. I'm deeply, deeply grateful, and I see that we've been joined by about 3 people here on YouTube. I want us to grow this community. We are over 3,000 subscribers. I would love for us to, grow towards, 5,000 subscribers, and I need your help, So if you're watching this and there's value that you received from today's conversation, take a minute, invite 1 or 2 of your friends to subscribe, and also share the link to this video with your community. With that, I'm going to wrap our session up on YouTube and on AMP, and then I'll go straight away to TikTok, and then after that, we will be distributing the content of this episode on all podcasting platforms, from Amazon Podcast to Apple Podcasts. You will be able to listen to the Daily African Proverbs, particularly this episode, across all those platforms. So thank you, and take great care of yourselves. Peace and love.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington.